Hello and good morning. I guess it's technically still morning. Welcome to this wonderful presentation with Stratos Kontopoulos. Uh, we were talking about Greek in the previous one, and Stratos just happens to be Greek as well. He is a knowledge graph engineer from Foodpairing AI, and he has extensive experience in this field of symbolic artificial intelligence. He's been an academic for a very long time. He transferred to research in industry, and he's also had major contributions for the last decade in industry. Presently, he's focused on developing knowledge graphs and expanding the use cases around food. And we're going to learn a lot from him in this presentation. And when he's not contributing to industry, he's also supporting and mentoring master students that are finding their way into industry. So it's a pleasure to have you, Stratos. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Joaquin. Thank you very much for the invite, you and the Swarm community. So hello from Greece. Actually, it's afternoon here, and it's very hot outside. It's around 40 degrees. So let's get started. We will discuss a little bit about the knowledge graphs and their application in the development of new food products. So just a few things about myself. I have a PhD in semantic web technologies, which I got from back in 2010. And ever since I started my PhD, I was working on those exact same technologies, semantic web and symbolic AI. So I have substantial experience in deploying those technologies, both in academia as well as R&D and industry. I was very fortunate to be working in various domains in pharma and life sciences, e-health, cultural heritage, digital preservation, security and defense, and many other domains. And my most recent stop is with Foodpairing AI, where we're working on the food and beverage sector, offering consulting services to food companies and companies who want to deliver consumer packaged foods, or CPG in short. So the outline of my presentation will be like that. Initially, we will give a very brief intro to knowledge graphs. As I saw also Cedric right before me did discuss a little bit about knowledge graphs. So I'm going to be very brief there. I'm going to give just the context so that everybody is on the same page. And then we will move to the more interesting parts where we will discuss about what we do at Foodpairing AI. We will go in depth within the Foodpairing knowledge graph, and then some directions for future work. So let's start with the first part, the context. So although the term knowledge graph is not very new, it was used also in the past, it was popularized by Google in 2012 in the now famous Things, Not Strings blog post, where they were presenting an add-on to their search engine. They were discussing it as an intelligent model that would understand the real-world entities that the user is looking for and their relationships. So since then, of course, several big players joined this game from various sectors, retail, tech, you name it. And the various benefits that knowledge graphs, or KGs in short, bring to an application, to a framework, is that they are very good in facilitating advanced data integration, data discovery, and inferencing. And nowadays, they are more and more crucial for AI applications. Having said that, and having mentioned AI applications, there are several reports that show that knowledge graphs will play a very important role in the AI landscape. On the left-hand side, you see a recent diagram from Gartner, the famous IT and tech consulting firm. This is from March 2024, where they are presenting knowledge graphs at the center front of the critical enablers for AI applications. And on the right-hand side, we see another similar diagram. This dates back to November 2023, if I'm not mistaken, where they are also presenting knowledge graphs, again, as a centerpiece in the generative AI and LLM world. So in essence, knowledge graphs, although they have been present in the industry for many years, they are rapidly gaining traction nowadays. What is the big benefits that knowledge graphs bring? First of all, they are intuitive and human-friendly because they are very close to how humans think. We tend to think in entities being interconnected to each other. So those things are very suitable for highly interconnected data. Having said that, they are very well suited for joining heterogeneous data from diverse sources. And in this case, when you do have such a unified framework, then you can harness the inherent linkages that exist within a graph. Having said that, you then can execute and run complex queries over the entirety of the stored knowledge in your data. So in essence, we are turning data from a problem to be managed, and this problem is growing nowadays with the volumes of data that are available. We are turning data from a problem into a resource to exploit. In a nutshell, we're making data smarter. So knowledge graphs are a very, very good fit for this role. So having presented the context, now we can move more specifically to what we are doing at Foodpairing AI. First of all, we know that consumers will be eating differently in the future. Why? Because there are various challenges. Environmental ones, like most notably the climate change, and other kinds of challenges like health challenges with obesity, diabetes, and other pathologies that are increasing. At Foodpairing AI, we believe that flavor will be the catalyst to changing the eating habits of consumers. Okay, all of us, we do know that we should be eating healthier, but knowing that, it's not enough to change our habits. We believe that if we want to change our habits, we need to be eating things that are tasty, and flavor will be the catalyst, the vehicle for that. However, there's a problem faced by food companies when they create new food products. It's an actual fact that around 9 out of 10 new products fail in the market for various reasons. So you can understand that there is a big cost here, economical as well as environmental sustainability costs. And this thing is a big challenge that needs to be addressed. Our motto at Foodpairing AI is good food is good business. So we try to address those challenges by doing what? We promise to be delivering better products faster. We help food companies by consulting them, offering consulting services. We help them deliver better products faster through our science-based and data-driven approach. This way, we help them deliver smarter, faster, and more successful products. In a nutshell, we accelerate the whole process from 12 to 24 months. This is how long it takes for a food company to deliver a new food product to the shelves of a supermarket. We accelerate this process from 12 to 24 months down to a few weeks time. How can we do that? We do that with an arsenal of AI-powered tools, knowledge graphs, machine learning algorithms, and digital twins. Here is just a glimpse of our biggest clients. And now let's go deeper into the Foodpairing knowledge graph. Our knowledge graph is actually at the center of our framework, and we will discuss this in the next slide. But what it mainly does is, as I already mentioned in the introductory part, it helps us integrate diverse data sources from various places. So in essence, we integrate into the knowledge graph content from online sources, social media, as well as proprietary in-house generated content that has to do with food ingredients, chemical analysis we perform in-house, sensory analysis, spectroscopy, various other things, plus outputs from our in-house patented machine learning algorithms. We add all those things inside the knowledge graph, and the knowledge graph now serves as a semantic data integration layer. It merges the heterogeneous data items, it establishes links with external data sources, and it allows us to perform high-end analytics on top. Why do we do that? Because we want to retrieve deeper insights from the entirety of stored information. So how does the whole framework look like? You see that we have the knowledge graph in the middle. It integrates information and data from various sources about ingredients, markets, and consumers. With regards to ingredients, we have analytical data, sensory, health benefits of ingredients, mood states that are linked to consuming ingredients, nutritional data, successful ingredient pairings, replacements, trends, costs, various other things. With regards to markets, we do have lots of information about products in the market, the so-called SKUs, stock keeping units, recipe data from all over the world, from various cuisines, and social media data. And we also have consumer-related information. In essence, this is represented via flavor IDs. Flavor IDs are an in-house way of giving a password, let's say a flavor password to individual users. So in essence, we can determine generally what kinds of flavor preferences populations around the globe have. So all this data goes inside our KG, and then various other consumers consume this data downstream. One of the consumers is our in-house food pairing team, our colleagues working at solution delivery who generate the reports for our clients, as well as our internal tool that uses this data and an internal chatbot that consults the knowledge graph and provides the respective information. A sneak peek into our tech stack. So in essence, we are relying on W3C recommendations, globally established standards for creating knowledge graphs. RDF, RDFS, and OWL are the formalisms for creating the actual knowledge, the model. Sparkle is the standard for querying the knowledge graph, and Shackle is the validation layer on top. And we are happy to be collaborating with Ontotext, and we are using their flagship product, GraphDB, which is one of the global leading platforms for managing semantic knowledge graphs. Now let's take a look at some of the use cases that we are addressing by using our knowledge graph. One of the initial things that we achieved with the knowledge graph is that we were linking the actual recipes with ingredient entities. So let's take a look at such an example. We see a little graph over here. This is part of our knowledge graph. The two red nodes in the middle, they correspond to two different recipes. The blue nodes around the red nodes correspond to ingredients, food ingredients that are found in those recipes. And there are some other nodes as well that indicate the types of the respective dishes. The size of the nodes in this diagram corresponds to the popularity of the respective entities in the specific data set. So for example, garlic, which is in the middle, is more popular than baguette or garlic leaf, for example, which is also found in the diagram. And on the right-hand side, we can see also additional information regarding the chosen node every time. In this case, it's garlic. So we have some additional piece of information that have to do with garlic. Now, having this kind of interconnection between recipes, cuisines, countries, and ingredients allows us to respond to questions like, give me all the ingredients for a specific recipe, or give me recipes that have mango and guava in them, or give me the 10 most popular ingredients found in recipes in a specific country, give me the 10 most complex recipes, etc. Just for your information, some of the most complex recipes contain around 150 or 160 food ingredients. So yeah, that's quite challenging to make. Taking that a step further, we are very much interested, as you can imagine from what I discussed earlier about the company, we are very much interested in identifying what ingredient combinations would be successful or novel for our clients. So this is very important for us. In this case, we again have a couple of recipes, the red dots, and around them there are the ingredients. Actually, these ones are products because I also saw the brand names. So we do have a few products. They are in red. The yellow nodes around them are food ingredients. You can also see the countries where the products are marketed and the brand names and the categories of the brands. So having this kind of information, we can then start to discuss in which recipes or products of a specific type is a specific ingredient combination contained. how complex are recipes that contain these kinds of combinations, what is the popularity, importance, novelty of an ingredient combination or of an ingredient, things like that. So we can start querying the knowledge graph in various levels of granularity. You can start from the ingredient level, going up to ingredient categories, going to super categories of ingredients, maybe also product categories, these type categories, things like that. We do have very much refined taxonomies of ingredients, products, and recipes. Moreover, our knowledge graph gives us access to advanced product insights. So in this case, we have a couple of products again, the ingredients around them, and various other things, the countries where they are marketed, etc. And on the right-hand side, you see some additional information about one of the products, one of the two health-related products. So we do have some positioning claims about the products, that it's recycling material, or it's very helpful for stress and sleep conditions, things like that. We also have launch dates. We have other kinds of information like packaging information of the products, etc. So we do have some deeper insights into the product landscape, depending on the categories of the products that we're interested in. Another important dimension is the ingredient trend insights. So we are monitoring the popularity of ingredients throughout time, actually for the last 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, and 5 years. So we do have lots of information regarding the popularity and trending of ingredients in multiple countries, and we can monitor that. We can also aggregate that to the category of ingredient, and you can think of various scenarios that might be useful for our case. This is a snapshot of our internal dashboard where we are seeing the popularity of some food ingredients. And in this case, we see that pineberry, for example, is the most growing. And we have many more scenarios which we can address. We do have nutrient profiles in our knowledge graph. For example, the fact that azuki beans contain 148 milligrams of calcium per 100-gram serving. We also have information about the nutrient eco scores of products. Nutri-scores and eco scores are quite popular in Europe. I don't know if they are equally popular in the States. It's a way to measure the nutritional value and the eco-friendliness of products, SKUs in the market. As I mentioned, we also have packaging information attached to products, the various positioning claims that the product has no preservatives, for example. Portions or quantities attached to specific ingredients, like the fact that a beef porterhouse steak weighs around 525 grams. We have mood states attached to ingredients, like the fact that chocolate is highly activating and various other things. Many of those pieces of information are generated in-house, as I said, by our teams. Others, like the linking mood states to ingredients, they are humanly curated by our teams, cross-referenced with international scientific literature. And we do have also the provenance of all this information inside our knowledge graph. So in essence, our clients know all the time where this information comes from. There is full transparency for our clients. Now, a few additional pointers for what we're planning to do in the future, in the near future, actually, with the knowledge graph. So for us, right now, the knowledge graph serves as a central part of our daily operations, but we plan to extend its usage. First of all, of course, the data coverage is a task that never ends. We keep struggling every day to make it more and more rich and wide in covering all the information that might be necessary. Just as a point of reference, right now, the knowledge graph contains around 20,000 food ingredients and around 10 million recipes, as I said. So there is lots of data in it. But in the near future, we are planning to use it also as part of the recommendation platform for recommending novel ingredient pairings. Right now, it doesn't play a role there. Right now, in-house proprietary algorithms play this role, but we're planning to give the knowledge graph a role in this affair as well. Also, ingredient replacement is very important for us. So we're planning to investigate how the knowledge graph could help us to replace popular ingredients in recipes with new ingredients that have other qualities that might be more necessary. For example, less salt or healthier properties. The knowledge graph also opened a door to yielding insights into sales predictions. This is done through graph embeddings. This is a approach that we recently tried out with promising results. So we're going to continue progressing on that. And finally, the knowledge graph also gives us lots of flexibility in order to adapt to new domains, from food, for example, into non-food domains. One such domain that we are now investigating for the last year or so is fragrances. How can you combine meaningfully different ingredients in order to, to have successful fragrance in the market? So this is very promising in this case. And now I would also like to touch a little bit upon the LLM part. As every tech company nowadays, more or less an AI company that respects itself, we are also working a lot with trying to have the two, KGs and LLMs, work together. There is a rising trend all over the world, in research mostly, but also in industry, with regards to this synergy. And we can find lots and lots of relevant approaches out there. Still, this thing is in its infancy, but there are lots of promising approaches out there. For now, we are working in two directions, both in an LLM augmented KG direction, as well as a KG enhanced LLM direction. I took those two terms from the now famous roadmap research paper from last year by Pan, Luo, and their colleagues. So in there, they have three types of KG and LLM synergy approaches. With regards to the former, the LLM augmented KG, what we do is we use LLMs in order to enrich the information that we have inside the graph, mostly with regards to refining our taxonomies of ingredient categories or refining the information that is attached to ingredients. For example, to enrich the definitions of ingredients or to enrich relevant information with regards to ingredients. The analytical data, though, comes again, as I said, from our experts in-house. The KG enhanced LLM, the second approach that we are adopting, has to do with trying to deploy an LLM which takes information only from the KG and not from other sources. This way, we're trying to minimize the hallucination phenomenon. We are experimenting on a proof of concept for internal use, which goes well. It's quite successful, I can say. And it's going to be part of an offering to our clients, because right now our clients only have access to the reports we generate and maybe parts of the dashboard that I showed earlier. Our ambition would be to offer to them an LLM, a chatbot, which they can have discussions with regards to the data that they would be interested to take a look at. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your patience, and I'm open to any questions you might have.
Yeah, first, excellent presentation. I was intrigued from the very beginning of reading the abstract, how extensive and how flexible the applications of this dynamic database is, or knowledge base rather, because data holds no context or meaning. Yeah, I'd love to see and understand how, this reservoir of knowledge that contains calories and nutritional values and composition of tasty and commercially successful recipes can be used in conjunction with population health data in certain geographies or certain areas to see if there's ways of enriching population health by making affordable but nutritiously dense food products.
Exactly. That's a great initiative, of course. Okay, we said that Foodpairing AI is collaborating with private companies, but the fact is that at its core, the company, from its founders even, is very much into sustainability and eco-friendliness. So in essence, we try very hard to propose combinations of ingredients that give added value with regards to those values. So in essence, there have been actual cases in the past where we have rejected collaborations with private companies who didn't have the same values that we did. So in essence, we are struggling every day to come up with solutions like the ones you mentioned. And I didn't mention that we are also participating in research projects exactly under those values. So our value as a company is always to promote healthier eating, more sustainable eating, and to also increase the diversity of ingredients that we are consuming. For example, fish species, right? Humans are consuming only 5 to 10% of the known fish species. This means that we put too much pressure on specific species, while there might be more nutritious other species that we could, consume. And one of our flagship initiatives is also to extend knowledge on that as well.
I, you know, I really would like for you and Rupa to have a conversation because she actually is a big innovator and advocate for food science and food technology.
Mhm.
Um, Stratos, again, it was a wonderful presentation, and this is the first, not the last. I wanna interrogate you further, and we're gonna have another one with Beatrice on Friday, a panel discussion.
Mhm.
She's up next, so um, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a joy, and I will always be close to this community. Thank you very much, Joaquin.